Shalom Alaikum. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect, the teacher's word, and our true faith and sincerity. And yeah, today, I just want to get into a lesson on how us pouring out complaint to the Lord about Esau, the so-called white man. And it's not, because, you salty. We have all right in the world to cry out against this devil, man. For everything that this man have done, man. All the way from what he have done to the earth and everything within it, man. We got all right to cry out against this man. Matter of fact, because he's the one that's the reason of our downfall, man. When you read, matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Deuteronomy. Because he is the source of the curses when you go into it. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 20, it's like verse 49. It says, "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand." See? So it says the Lord's going to bring a nation to do these things. It says as swift as the eagle flieth. What is talking about? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. It said a nation of a fierce countenance. We shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And who else could that be but the so-called white man? You see it all the way up to this day. He's not regarding the old. And I'm talking about our people. You got a lot of just on the just scratching the surface. You got a lot of Jakes. They military vets. That's why a lot of them stayed over there back over there. Vietnam and shit, because they knew how America treated them. But the ones that came back to America, a lot of them homeless, man. Then showing favor to the young, this man attack your children, man. So on all levels, he's the one that's doing it. The eagle. Under his rule, which are the Edomites, this is the worst captivity ever, man. And you got Jake crying out for relief. Matter of fact, let's get that in Ecclesiastes. Crying for a drop of water on your tongue. Relief, man. For all the hell we've been catching. But who's the source of that hell coming? That power bill had to come from somewhere. This is Ecclesiastes 4:1. "So I return and consider all the oppressions that are done under the sun." See? So as you can see, when Solomon, he said he returned and considered all the oppressions under the sun. So throughout time, pretty much, he could tell you he knew the beginning, the midst, and the ends of the times. So throughout time, when he stepped back and assessed time, and he considered all the oppressions that were done on the earth. So every time, all these captivities Israel went through, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. See, our people, it said the tears crying out, which that's the form of our people doing that by the way of locking arms, marching, protesting. The way you got this so-called Black Lives Matter, which is a sinister plan behind that. But you actually got sincere Jakes doing that, crying out. It said, but they got no comforter. They don't got the answers, man. They don't have the scriptures. It says, and on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. See, so this the same nigga that beat our ass and you going to this same nigga for relief, man. You know, you see that he got the power. He got the strength to relieve you, so to speak, to a certain extent. You know, but guess what? You're not going to be confident, man. And then, you know, they crying out for the wrong things, man. That's why the Lord is not hearing these niggas, man. So you got a particular spirits on the planet Earth right now that's actually crying out for the right things, man. You know, which is getting the hell out of this place. Not trying to be more settled. You know, you got niggas that actually praying for a more comfortable status here in America, man. No, we crying out, moaning and groaning for the Lord to get us out of this. Matter of fact, because, you know, we once again in Egypt. And what made the Lord spring into action? What was one of the things that made the Lord spring into action? Let's get it. This is the book of Exodus 2, and I start at 23. It said, and it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by the reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came unto the Most High by the reason of the bondage. See? So they was crying because of the reason of the bondage. That's why it was a reason why they were, and it was the right reason. Unlike they weren't crying out for extra dollar on their hourly pay, man. You know, they weren't crying out to a nigga to be more involved in the Oscars, man. You know, we was crying out for the reason of the bondage, and that's what you see now, man. You know, it says, and the Most High heard their groaning, and the Most High remembered his covenant with Abraham and with Isaac and with Jacob. See? It said, and the Most High looked upon the children of Israel, and the Most High had respect unto them. And this time that's talking about the elect, man. You know? The elect, those are the ones that's precious in his eyes. Those are the ones that he's looking upon. But you can see they was crying out. And that's what you see now. You see us crying out for the things that's taking place. You know, the abominations happening upon the planet Earth. You know, really just the so-called white man itself, just him. Because he's the source of, and the reason behind why everything is all jacked up, man. You know, matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Sirach 35, Ecclesiastes 35. And I start at 14. It says, he would not despise the supplication of the fatherless. See? So this is the Lord, Yahweh Shema says he's not going to despise the supplication of the fatherless, man. Which is our people, man. You know? Which ultimately, that's really talking about the elect. Because that's who the Lord is going to, that's who he's going to accept. That's why I say he's not going to despise them. You know, the continual prayers of the fatherless. It says, nor the widow, see, when she pours out her complaint. And that's what you see. That's why you got men constantly teaching, upload videos, crying out. You know. And you got to look, the fatherless, the widow. How did that happen? Somebody made them fatherless. Somebody made them a widow. We know it was Yahweh Shema Shai, but who did the Lord use? Esau, man. You know. So that's who we crying. That's who we point out I complain about. It says, doeth not the tears run down the widow's cheek? And is not her cry against him that causeth them to fall? See, that's who our cry is against. This man. By the reason of the bondage, by him, the reason why we in such a bad state is because of this nigga. How we was full of swords? Through the sword. You know? So that's who he's crying out to get. And he's you know, this nigga will say it's drugs in our neighborhoods. It's black on black crime. Woo, this and that. Well, hold on. Nigga, you the one that put the bottle to our mouth. You the one that gave us black culture. You know, when the so-called Emancipation Proclamation happened, you said we was colored. Then we was African American. Now we just black, you know? So he's the reasoning behind our downfall. You know, just like you getting a whipping, you crying because the belt hitting you. Well, that's what Esau. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Isaiah 10 real quick. Isaiah 10 and verse 5. It says, "O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger." And see, so who's the modern day Assyrian? The so-called white man, the Edomites. It said, "The rod of mine anger." See, so the Lord used the Assyrians back then to show forth his anger upon the children of Israel. Well, in this modern time, that's what the Lord did with Esau. That's why we just read in Deuteronomy that eagle is going to be the source, pretty much the source of those curses coming upon us, man. You know? It says, "And the staff in their hand is mine, ate their nation." See? So the hell he put on us, that really go back to the Lord. But the point is, you crying is because the belt is hitting you, man. And that's why we crying, because it's this devil that's oppressing us, man. You know? We crying because it's Esau. You wondering why our people was in the state that we're in. It's because of Esau, man. It ain't like you can say anything else. That's why in the book of Job it says, you know, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. If not, where and who is he? Like, who else can you, what the fuck you think you want me to say, man? You know? Matter of fact, this is on the book of Sirach 4. And matter of fact, I started at 1. It says, "My son, defraud not the poor of his living." See? "And make not the needy eyes to wait long." And that's what this devil do, man. You know? He defraud the poor of his living. Or it tells you that wood is sold unto us. You know? We drunk our water for money. Your check, they already, before you get your check, you know, they already got their cut out of it. Oh, that's why I said, it make not the needy eyes to wait long. Hey, you lucky if you get a job that you get paid every week, man. Every week. You know, because you really supposed to get paid every sundown, man. You know, before the sun goes down, man. But with this man, then he held it a whole week, if you lucky, or every 2 weeks, or bi-monthly, or once a month, man. That's this nigga making the needed eyes to wait long, knowing you got a bill to pay, knowing you need something that need to be done. You had to have something done that day. You need the money that day. That's that nigga, man. It says, "Make not a hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress." See, and that lets you know that's them tears, man. We in a position where you crying, and it's not tears of joy, you know. It says, "And add not more trouble to a heart that is vexed, and defer not to give him that is in need." And guess what? Esau have been guilty on all these things, man. It said, "Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from a poor man." See, this devil is guilty on all these things. It says, "Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee." See, so don't give this man no reason to curse you, man. The needy, a man that's in need, you know, and sincere, you know, that's in distress, you know. Well, hey, that's why we were known as the poor and needy, man. No power, no strength in our hands. That's why I said they looked to the oppressors, and that was power, but there was no comforter. So it says, don't get it poor and needy, no reason to curse you. It says, "For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, in sincerity, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him." See, so the Lord is gonna hear these prayers. He gonna hear the cry of us, man, and our complaint. And who is our complaint against? The so-called white man, the one that caused us to fall. You know. And that's actually a law, you know, that you don't pose to make a widow or orphan cry, man. You know, matter of fact, let's get that. And let you know this man is guilty on all charges, man. All the way down from him breaking the law to mix fabric, to the dietary laws. All the way down to him making a widow and an orphan cry, man. He's guilty of that. And you seeing it play out by the way of these videos. It's us teaching and putting forth these lessons, crying out. So this is Exodus 22 and verse 22. It said, ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. And that's what this man have done. And he's the reason why we the widow. He's the reason why we the fatherless. He killed our husband, man. By the way of the Romans crucifying our Lord, man. He beat the nationality out of us. So we didn't know who our father was, man. He's the reason by that. He was the cause of us being a widow and being the fatherless. It says, if thou afflict them in any wise, meaning on any type of level, just give him a headache. How much more a tear? Now you got men actually diligently through Spirit and Power, Yahweh Shema Shai, constantly putting up videos. So it said, if thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. See? It says, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. See? And that's going to be the results. That's going to be the results of us crying out. Now you're going to be a widow. Now you're going to be a father. Matter of fact, we could end it off on this. Because that's what we want. To avenge our adversary. So what the Lord is going to do, let's get it. We'll end off on this. Isaiah 47 and verse 8. It said, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly in thine heart, and that says in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. See? Meaning what? They ain't gonna take no L's. But how they living, they actually benefited off our downfall. Through our downfall, they capitalized off of it. And that's how this place became a superpower, man. This place rose from the top very quickly through the devouring of Israel. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood. See, that's actually going to happen, man. A lot of people are going to die in this place, man. That's going to be the trade-off. We crying out, and the Lord is going to honor that cry. It says he's going to surely hear our cry. And it's going to wax hot. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection. See, at its climax. So guess what? These plagues is gonna hit. It's gonna come at its height. That's what's gonna cause the widowhood. That's what's gonna cause you being fatherless. Read 2nd Ezra the 16th chapter. They give you the reasons why they're going to be fatherless and why they're going to be widows in that day. It says for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. See, but the point is, us crying out, the Lord is going to honor that cry. The widow crying out and the fatherless. Now you're going to be widows and fatherless. But yeah, I just hope you were edified. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say shalom to the elect that teach His word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. DTA, abide by ball. Soon, very soon.